United States, we're going to need a lot of this, okay? From our own supposed government. Supposed government. Okay? Notice what I'm doing. So, there are things we can do as Americans, and as a musician and as an educator, I'm, letting people know what your rights are instead of sitting. I'm not telling you not to have feelings about things, but I think too many times there are people who are just sitting around and basically ruminating and panicking when there are things we can do. Okay, even if it's helping in your own community, because our United States government is not just at war. It's at war with a lot of things, including its citizens. Okay, and one of the things that I think we should definitely pay more attention to is who in your community needs help, who needs support. It's not always just about money. Like, there are places that offer, groceries for free, and there are places, especially like if somebody's worried about some kind of law enforcement looking for them, things you can do to help them, support them. It's hard to navigate with a dysregulated nervous system. If you know about certain, resources, it's time to start activating those things. Okay? If you're aware of what somebody can do to make sure that they have the right and ability to vote and the means, because we're also having preliminary elections in certain parts of the country right now, and we need everybody who can and is able to get out there. And I know, again, it's always interesting to me when people say things like voting doesn't matter, but then they're actively trying to take it away. So you tell me, does it matter if somebody's actively trying to take that right away from you? Like, actively? If it doesn't matter so much, then yeah. But there's more to it than just that. With the legislation, sorry, I'm congested. The act is going to make it extremely difficult for a lot of people to have the ability to vote. Okay? A lot of people. There's that. Then there are, still issues with the immigration police out there just doing the most with everybody. There's that. And by the way, I've been telling people now. I thought most people were aware of this. That's the other thing. It might be one and the same. You knew that in New Mexico and or Arizona, the cartel had been fighting ICE for weeks, if not a month, before the news came out with them closing airspace over there? It's like, yeah, because they had been literally battling the immigration police and the cartel. So I'm not saying the cartel is, whatever, but I'm finding it interesting that the American news outlets out here are not telling people that that's what's happening until all of a sudden, oh, it's a big mystery as to why the airspace is being shut down today. It's like, because, yeah, Um, and there leads to that. Um, I had to tell my mother this morning. It's like billionaires own a lot of the media sources here in the United States. It is not state run, unfortunately. And, for whatever that means, I'm sure some people would say state run media. That might not be the best idea either, but when your media outlets are ran by capitalists, meaning they make their money for providing you with information, then that to me is that's a compromise. That's problematic. And it sounds like the last I heard that the administration is trying to get one of the news outlets sold because they don't like them. Okay? And yeah, and then there's that. There's a lot going on. I totally agree. Totally agree. I feel like I've put myself over the last 10 years though. I mean, I'm not a sage or anything like that. I'm not psychic per se. But when you see things, and this is a quote from Maya Angelou, and this is where, again, y'all got to start paying attention to the people who can think outside the box. When somebody's showing you who they are, you better believe them. And I don't think a lot of people believed that this person would do all these things, but yeah, because a lot of people had truths hidden from them for so long that they would try to gaslight those who knew what was actually going on in history, throughout history. People would just say, oh, well, you're just making that up. That's not true. America's this and that. It's like, that's not what's really happening. Now y'all are starting to see what the real America is like. And I will say, maybe in the last 60, 70 years, we tried to play nice internationally since the Second World War. Okay? Tried to play nice. Okay, for whatever reason, but now it seems like there's a small, and I don't even think it's that big, but they're the ones that strategically played the chess, and unfortunately, a lot of people were put in the dark about what is actually happening behind the scenes. Now that there are some people who are in power that are not the majority, they don't care. They just want the power. That they're basically shutting us out from the rest of the world, slowly but surely. Okay? And this is what I'm trying to at least tell, people in my family who watch the news a lot, that you have to start looking at around the news. Like, it's not funny. This is more like a reflex now. It's not funny, but I'm just saying, it's like, if people are getting laid off from companies that are international companies based in the United States, it's probably because of how your president treats people from outside of the United States. Okay? And they want to keep money. Like, these billionaires, they want the billions and continue to have the billions, and they're really, really thinking they're believing in this AI stuff. That's where they're trying to put their money in. It's not into the people anymore. They want to continue to have billions, try to buy Iceland, all that other wild stuff that people were like, oh, that's silly. It's not that silly until it starts happening, y'all. Okay? It's not that silly until you start seeing it start to happen. Like, there is a 6-month freeze on medical devices, from what I hear now. Most of those devices aren't even made in the United States anyway. That's probably why, y'all. And as I just said, a lot of people will be getting laid off, if not already, a lot more. If we have already not, in the last, few hours, started launching weapons towards Iran, like seriously, okay? There's that. And the presidency wants to incite violence within the country right now so that they can declare martial law so that nobody can vote. That's what's also starting to try to be happening. Like, seriously. And I'm just going to say this about, I think there is a No Kings protest upcoming. And I'm going to just say, y'all, you need to be careful, all of you. It's all, the black people are already not going anyway, because that's part of, that. But I think a lot of people need to start being really careful, really careful. You need to start studying how other countries protest, okay? Because I think something, and I don't know. It's hard, I'm not trying to make people feel scared or whatever, but you need to come prepared. I think in United States, a lot of United States citizens have this very infantile viewpoint on world events, current events. Like a very infantile, probably have no idea what's really going on in the world, some of them. And we are just the last when it comes to a fascist / dictatorship government. We're the last. And we should have been paying attention. Some people are, but the people who can make a difference is us. We need to get organized instead of arguing, instead of trying to get your money. Like, as much as people, I feel like, alright, I'm back. I got disconnected, sorry y'all. That's like, think about World War II. When people have victory gardens, y'all need to start growing your own food. You need to start really thinking about where your basic needs are being taken care of. There's a lot of countries that are about to divest away from the United States because of our president. And I am concerned about people that I know that are going to get blindsided in all of this. Because people are too busy just scrolling. That's the other thing. They're looking to try to control, not, I guess, traditional media, but all media. Okay. The only thing I feel like that can stop it is us.